I was just listening to a Perch video, and at the end, he made an interesting point that got me thinking. He was talking about the new book that's coming out soon, the YA graphic novel I Am Not Starfire, and he said, I hope this book is good. I'm not rooting for this book to fail, rather. He said, I hope this book is good because I want to see Marvel and DC doing well. I don't know if Perch still owns a comic shop, but I know in the past, at least, he has been a comic store owner. So that would make sense from a business point of view, but it's also a hobby point of view because this is something he clearly cares about. And it got me thinking because I also want the comic industry to do well because it's something that I have really fallen in love with in my adult life, and especially in the last, exponentially in the last 5-6 years. I know a lot of people grew up with comics. By the way, if you hear some sizzle, that's because I'm making pancakes at 12:40 in the morning because my sleep schedule is weird as shit. My work schedule is weird. Anyway, I just recently fell in love with comics as an adult. But I'm also somebody who is, I'm currently, if you're new here, I am developing my own graphic novel right now. I'm doing it all digitally. But I just recently started what I would call the inking phase, even though it is, again, digital, which is very exciting. There was a mental hurdle to start that. But, of course, I don't want the comic industry to fail. It's something that I'm trying to get into myself. I am not trying to get a job at Marvel or DC. That doesn't really interest me. I want to be an independent writer and artist. But anyway, I want to keep this one short. I haven't posted anything in a while, and that's because I'm a little salty. Not because of any of you guys. Actually, this community is incredible, and I'm trying to grow it. So if you're new here, please throw a subscribe on there. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start doing community posts. No, I'm a little salty because a couple weeks ago when Black Widow first came out, my wife and I sat down and watched it, and immediately when the video was done, we started recording. And we actually recorded for half an hour, and we had a really awesome discussion where we dove into our initial reactions of the movie and thoughts where it ranks in the MCU and some of the controversial topics about feminism and blah, 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 because my wife considers herself to be a feminist. And I hope we actually come back and do a video like that because it was really good. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, it was 30 minutes on the dot, and my iPad saved about 19 seconds of it. So, yeah, I'm a little pissed about that. But anyway, I absolutely want the comic industry and the comic medium to flourish. I think comics is a place for just about everybody, unless you're doing some really awful stuff. Where so much of the issues arise is when established franchises and characters that already have, long-standing fan bases, where Marvel or DC seem to be making moves that are overly woke and targeting SJWs, if you will, and I actually had to explain the other day to my wife what an SJW was, which was kind of interesting. But anyway, I think that's where things get a little sticky and people get. It seems like people are waiting for things to come out just to watch them fail. And in the case of books like, the New Warriors and stuff like that, and again, right now, a lot of people are talking about I Am Starfire, or rather, I Am Not Starfire, and, things like that. It definitely does seem like people are waiting to watch it fail and, getting the popcorn ready, and that's kind of a spectacle. And I think it's just because, honestly, again, I don't want the industry to do bad. I don't want these poorly written and subpar things coming out. I think the reason why so many of us may find it a little entertaining to watch these things crash and burn, part of it is schadenfreude. It's the happiness at the misfortune of others. It's just kind of interesting to sit back and just watch them crash and just do so abysmally. That is entertaining in its own way, but I also think part of it is because it just comes off, so much of it, the virtue signaling, the pandering comes off so disingenuous anyway. So when they want to toot their own horn and make it seem like, look, we're representing gay characters or black characters or females or whatever the thing is, but it doesn't seem sincere. It seems like they're just trying to be ostentatious and toot their own horns. That's why a lot of us, I think, kind of sit back and it's like, okay, well, we're going to watch you fail. But again, the topic, going back, just to reiterate, I don't want comics to do poorly as a whole, as a collective. I think comics is a place for just about everybody. But I also I don't think every single part of comics needs to appeal to every single demographic. I don't think you need to take every established Marvel character that's been around for decades and people love and gender and race swap them just for the sake of woke points in 2021. So Twitter likes you for a couple hours, but you're doing it at the expense of fans that have been with you for decades, and you're acting like they're the enemy. Again, we could just dive into this and go on and on and on, but in time, we will. This was more so, going off of Purchase Thought, where he said, you know what, I don't want this book to do bad, even though he's expecting it to do bad. I think many of us are. I Am Not Starfire does not look like it's set up for success. But again, we don't want DC to put out bad stuff. We don't want their books to do poorly. That really, honestly, I think comes down to Marvel and DC and their actions. I think a lot of the fans are quite clear about what they like and what they don't like. And again, if you want to focus on representation and stuff, that's fine. But do it in a genuine way, not a disingenuous, exploitative way, where it just comes off pandery. Anyway, let me know what you think. And let me know if you watched Black Widow, if you'd like to hear that video. I was going to title it something like, I watched Black Widow with a feminist. These were our thoughts. Because, again, my wife considers herself a feminist. And, we'll dive into that in another video. But, yeah, I love talking to you guys. So leave a comment. And even if it's just saying hey, and let's chat. Talk to you later. Bye.